Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. No matter what time you're watching, welcome. Leave a comment telling me what town you're watching this story from. And listen, if this story popped up for you, it's because it deserves to be heard. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more like it. The day had barely dawned when I left the house. The fog still danced over the wet ground, clinging like a stubborn ghost that doesn't want to leave. My bare feet trod the cold porch floor, and I felt that dampness that always comes before sunrise, dampness that promises heat, but for now only brings the early morning chill. I'd been doing this every morning for 3 years, since Maria passed. I'd walk down to the creek to get fresh water, even though I had a well at the house. It was my way of starting the day, of feeling that I was still alive, that there was still purpose in getting out of the empty bed. The sound of the running water was the only company I had in those first moments of the day. The property was in the outskirts of Harmony Creek, upstate New York. 40 acres of land that my dad left me, and that Maria and I had taken care of for 22 years. We had a potato farm, a few apple trees, a small vegetable garden. Nothing grand, but it was ours. Until cancer took her, and the farm became just mine. I walked the usual trail, stepping on the stones I knew by heart. The dense woods on both sides made a green tunnel where the sunlight still struggled to enter. Crickets sang their last verses of the night. The smell of wet earth rose strongly, mixed with the fragrance of wildflowers that Maria always loved. That's when I missed her the most, in those moments when the world seemed virgin, newborn, waiting for someone to witness its beauty. She always said that God painted a new picture every morning, and that it was a sin not to stop and admire it. I arrived at the bend in the creek, where the water made a lazy turn between the rocks. It was my favorite place. There, the sound was more musical, as if nature had chosen that spot to make its morning symphony. I bent down with the bucket in my hand, ready to fill it with fresh water. That's when I heard it. Voices, 2 people talking. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone. There was something wrong with that tone, something that made me freeze, even with the heat starting to rise. I raised my head slowly. On the other side of the creek, between the bushes, I saw 2 figures, a tall man wearing a hat and a girl. She had her back to me, but from her posture she seemed scared. He was gesturing, speaking with contained anger. My heart started to beat faster. It wasn't normal to have people around there at that hour. That part of the woods was isolated, far from the main road. Who would be there but someone who didn't want to be seen? The girl took a step back. He took 2 steps forward. Instinctively, I ducked behind the larger rocks. Something in my chest told me that this wasn't a normal conversation. There was fear in the air, thick as the fog that still insisted on not leaving. "Please, Dad." The girl's voice reached me, weak, broken. "Don't do this. Dad." My blood ran cold. What kind of father would talk to his daughter like that? What kind of father would make his daughter beg like that? "I should have done this a long time ago," I heard the man respond. His voice was dry, without emotion. "You've always been a problem since you were born." The girl sobbed, a sound that broke my heart, because it reminded me of the way Maria cried when the pain got too strong. "I can leave," she said. "I'll never come back. You keep everything. I don't want anything." Too late. And then it happened. Too fast for me to process, too fast for me to shout. The man pushed the girl into the water, without hesitating, without remorse, like someone throwing away what's worthless. She screamed, but the sound sank along with her body. The waters of the creek closed over her like a hungry mouth. The man who pushed her turned his back as if nothing had happened. He went up the bank, disappeared among the trees, leaving only the echo of his crime in the water that continued to flow, indifferent. My body reacted before my mind. I dropped the bucket, jumped over the rocks, ran up the bank. I wasn't thinking, I was just acting. I only knew that someone was drowning and that I wouldn't let it happen. Not again. Not like with Maria, when I arrived too late at the hospital. Not like with the child we lost before birth. Not like with all the moments when life taught me that we always arrive too late. This time, no. I jumped into the creek. The cold water enveloped me like an icy embrace. I dived where I had seen her sink, groping in the darkness of the muddy water. My lungs burned, but I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. I touched something, fabric, hair, an arm. I pulled with all the strength I had. I emerged with her in my arms, heavy as a stone, limp as a rag doll. She wasn't moving. She wasn't breathing. "No," I murmured, carrying her to the bank. "No, no, no." I laid her on the grass, turned her face to the side. Water came out of her mouth. I pressed her back, trying to remember what I had seen in the movies. More water. Then, by a miracle, she coughed. She was breathing, weakly but breathing. Her body was freezing, trembling. Her clothes stuck with mud and fear. But her eyes, when they opened for a second, I saw in them a pain that I recognized. The same pain that I saw in the mirror every morning. I lifted her in my arms. She was unconscious again, but alive. Alive and needing care. And for the first time in 3 years, I felt that I had a greater purpose than just continuing to exist. I felt that I had someone to save. The house never seemed as small as it did at that moment. Carrying the girl through the front door, crossing the simple living room where Maria used to embroider, climbing the 3 steps to the guest room that hadn't received visitors in years. All this made me feel like I was desecrating a sanctuary. But she was trembling. Trembling so much that her teeth were chattering, even unconscious. I laid her carefully on the bed that Maria always kept made in case someone showed up. The mattress sank under the wet weight of her body. The quilt embroidered with tiny flowers, the one that my wife took months to finish, was soaked in seconds. "Forgive me, Maria," I murmured to the emptiness, "but you would understand." I ran to the closet, grabbed clean towels. I returned to the room and stopped at the door. The girl was still, her dark hair spread on the pillow like spilled ink, her skin pale, almost transparent, her lips purple with cold. For a moment I hesitated. She wasn't my daughter. She wasn't my wife. What right did I have to? She groaned, a low, painful sound that reminded me that there was no time for modesty. Life was life, and that life was in danger. I covered her with the towels, trying to dry what I could without disrespecting her. I took off her soaked shoes, her torn socks. I left the wet clothes. She would deal with that when she woke up. I went to the kitchen, lit the wood stove. The flames licked the dry wood with haste, as if they understood the urgency. I put water on to heat, grabbed the honey that Maria always kept for colds, some lemon balm leaves that grew in the yard. While the tea was getting ready, I looked out the window. The sun was now higher, burning off the rest of the fog. A normal day was dawning outside, as if nothing had happened, as if a man hadn't just tried to kill his own daughter. My hand trembled as I picked up the cup, not from cold, but from anger. An anger that I hadn't felt in a long time, since Maria's last days in the hospital, when the doctors looked at me with pity and talked about doing what they could. I went back to the room. She was still, but her breathing was more regular. I pulled the straw chair that was in the corner, the same one where Maria sat to read before bed, and settled down next to the bed. "Come on," I whispered, bringing the cup to her lips. Just a sip. Nothing. I tried again, tilting her head carefully. A few drops went in, she coughed but didn't wake up. I stayed there, waiting, watching the rise and fall of her chest, as if it were the most important thing in the world. And maybe it was. It must have been noon when she finally moved. First the fingers, then her head turning slowly to the side. Finally, her eyes. They were brown, not the common brown, but that deep brown, the color of earth after rain. And they were full of fear. She saw me and tried to recoil, but her body didn't obey. She opened her mouth to speak, but only a hoarse groan came out. "Easy," I said, without moving from the chair. "You're safe. Safe." The word sounded strange in my mouth. It had been so long since I promised safety to anyone, so long since I felt capable of offering it. She looked around, trying to understand where she was. The simple room with its whitewashed walls, the wooden crucifix that Maria insisted on keeping above the bed, the flowered curtain that filtered the afternoon light. Where? Her voice came out broken, more air than sound. My house. You almost drowned. She closed her eyes as if the words were too heavy. Tears streamed down her temples, wetting the pillow that was already damp. He did it. No, I replied firmly. You're alive. You're here. And she looked at me again, this time with more attention. She studied my face, looking for something. Danger, maybe, or a lie, or both. Why did you save me? The question caught me off guard. Why? I hadn't thought about it. It just happened. Because it was the right thing to do. The right thing, she repeated, as if the expression were foreign. It's been a long time since I heard that. We fell silent. She, trying to process what had happened. I, trying to understand what I would do now. I couldn't just let her go, not after what I saw, but I also couldn't keep her here against her will. What's your name? I asked. She took a while to answer, as if she was deciding if she could trust me with that information. Anna, she said finally. Anna Christina. John, I introduced myself. John Mendez. Another silence, longer, heavier. You saw, she said. It wasn't a question. I did. My father. I know. She closed her eyes again. This time the tears came with more force. They weren't tears of fear, but of something deeper, relief maybe, or despair, or both mixed together. He'll be back, she said. When he finds out I didn't die, he'll be back. Then we won't let him find you. The words came out of my mouth before I could think about them. We won't. As if we had already made a pact, she and I, as if we were already a duo against the world. She looked at me in surprise. You don't even know me. I know enough. You don't understand. He's dangerous. He has money. He has influence. If he finds out you helped me, then you better stay hidden for a while. She tried to sit up, but she was still weak. I supported her carefully, adjusted the pillows behind her back. I can't stay here, she said. I can't involve you in this. Anna. I said her name for the first time, and it sounded strange, as if it were a new word. You're not involving me in anything. I've been involved since the moment I saw what I saw. But no buts. You stay here until you recover, until we figure out what to do. And if he shows up, I looked at her. In those brown eyes, I saw the same fear that Maria had in her last days. Fear of leaving others alone with the pain. Fear of not being strong enough. Then he'll have to deal with me. It wasn't bravado. It wasn't machismo. It was simply the truth. Because for the first time in 3 years, I had someone to protect. And that changed everything. She must have seen something in my face, because she didn't protest anymore. She just nodded, as if she understood that there was no more choice for either of us. Thank you, she whispered. You don't need to thank me. I do. It's been a long time since someone didn't. She stopped, searching for the words. Since someone cared if I lived or died. The sentence hit me like a punch, because I knew exactly what that feeling was like. The difference is that I had chosen to live like that. She hadn't. Now someone cares, I said. And for the first time since she woke up, Anna showed something that could be a smile. Small, fragile, but real. It was the beginning of everything. The first 3 days were strange. Not strange in a bad way, but strange in a different way. The house had new smells, the soft scent of the soap Anna used, the aroma of the chamomile tea I prepared every afternoon, the still damp odor of the clothes I washed and hung on the clothesline. Anna didn't leave the room, not because she was sick, but because of shame, or fear, or that mixture of the two that makes us hide from the world. I respected that. I brought meals on a tray, knocked on the door, entered only when she allowed. We talked little. She thanked me. I asked if she needed anything. She said no. Always no. But I saw in the details that she was getting used to it. The way she smoothed the quilt when she finished eating. The way she arranged the pillows. How she looked out the window when she thought I wasn't watching. On the third day, she appeared in the kitchen. She was wearing one of Maria's shirts, light blue with pearl buttons, that I had left in the closet in the room. It was big on her, the sleeves covering her hands, the hem at her knees. She looked like a child wearing adult clothes. "Good morning," she said, standing at the door as if asking permission to enter. "Good morning." I dropped the cup of coffee. "How are you feeling?" "Better." She looked around, observing the simple kitchen, the wood stove, the solid wood table that my father made, the iron pans hanging on the wall. Can I help with something?" The question caught me off guard. It had been so long since anyone offered help that I almost didn't know how to respond. "You don't have to," I said automatically. "I know I don't have to, but I want to." There was something in her voice, a firmness that wasn't there in the first days, as if she was deciding to be less fragile. "What are you making?" she asked, approaching the stove. "Scrambled eggs, heated up yesterday's bread." "Let me do it." She held out her hand for the wooden spoon. "It's been a while since I cooked for someone." I let her. I watched as she cracked the eggs in the pan, stirred slowly, seasoned with salt and a pinch of pepper she found in the cabinet. She had a knack for it, delicate but sure hands. "Who did you learn from?" I asked. "From my mother." Her voice got lower. "She said that cooking was a way to show love. My wife said the same thing." Anna looked at me, curious. It was the first time I had mentioned Maria. "Did she die?" she asked carefully. 3 years ago." "I'm sorry." "I'm sorry about your mother too." She nodded, going back to stirring the eggs. We were quiet for a while, but it wasn't that heavy silence of the first days anymore. It was a companionable silence of two people who understood each other's pain. "My mom died when I was 17, she said suddenly. "Lung cancer. After that, my dad changed." I didn't ask anything else. I knew she'd tell me in her own time. She served the eggs on 2 plates, sliced the bread, set the table. We sat across from each other like I hadn't done in years. "This is good," she said after the first bite. "You're a good cook." My mum was better. She smiled, and it was the second smile I'd seen, bigger than the first. She made a shepherd's pie that was the most delicious thing in the world. Maria used to make that too. Sunday was shepherd's pie day. Can I try to make it one of these days?" The question made me think. One of these days, as if she was going to stay, as if she was already part of the house. "Sure," I replied. "There's ground beef in the freezer." We finished breakfast talking about food, about recipes, about our mother's quirks. Simple subjects, but they were opening up space for other subjects. Anna helped me wash the dishes. Afterwards, she insisted on sweeping the house. I went to take care of the animals, the chickens, the 2 pigs, the dairy cow that Maria had named Brownie. When I came back, I found Anna in the yard, watering the garden. "I hope you don't mind," she said. The plants were thirsty. I didn't mind. In fact, it made me feel good to see someone taking care of the things Maria planted. The basil plant, the cabbages, the tomatoes that insisted on growing even without much care. "Do you know about plants?" I asked. "A little. My mom had a bigger garden than this." She pointed to an empty corner. "You could plant some flowers there, sunflowers maybe. They like sun." Maria always wanted to plant sunflowers. Why didn't she? She got sick before she could. Anna looked at me with those brown eyes that seemed to understand everything. "Then let's plant them for her." It wasn't a question. It was a decision. And for the first time in 3 years, the idea of changing something in the house didn't scare me. "There are seeds in town," I said. "I can get them tomorrow. I'll go with you." "Anna," I started, but she interrupted me. "It's been 3 days. I can't stay hidden forever. He might be looking." Let him look. I'm not going to live in fear forever. There was something different about her. In the first days, Anna was a scared girl. Now the woman she really was starting to appear, strong, determined, tired of being a victim. Besides, she continued, you can't protect me if you don't know what you're protecting me from. What do you mean? She put down the watering can, approached me. For the first time, she didn't look away. It's time for me to tell you the truth, the whole truth. We sat in the shade of the apple tree, in the same place where Maria and I used to have coffee on Sunday afternoons. Anna took a deep breath, like someone preparing for a dive. My father's name is Anthony Ferreira. He has ranches all over this area. Cattle ranching, soybean farming. He's rich, powerful, respected. I knew the name. Everyone in the area knew it. Anthony Ferreira was one of those men who gave orders and got his way, who had hired guns in his pocket and politicians in his hand. After my mother died, he started drinking, and when he drank, she stopped, swallowed hard. When he drank, he blamed me for everything, for her death, for the problems on the ranch, for his own life. I felt the anger coming back, hot and heavy in my chest. He hit you? Not just that. Her voice became almost inaudible. He said I was his, that he could do whatever he wanted with me. I didn't need her to say more. I understood, and the anger turned to hatred. Why didn't you run away before? I tried, twice. He always brought me back. He has men who work for him, who do anything for money. She played with a dry leaf. The last time he said that if I tried again, I wouldn't have to worry about myself anymore. And you believed him? Until 3 days ago, no, I thought it was just a threat. She looked at me. But when he took me to that creek, when I saw in his eyes that he was serious, then I understood that it was never just a threat. Is there anything else I need to know? Anna hesitated. Then she nodded. He didn't just try to kill me out of malice. There's my mother's inheritance, land, money, investments. Everything is in my name by will. As long as I live, he can't touch anything. And if you die, everything goes to him. Now I understood. It wasn't just cruelty, it was greed, which made everything even worse. How many men does he have? As far as I know, 3 or 4. But he has the money to hire as many as he wants. We fell silent. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and red. It should have been a beautiful moment, but I could only think about the woman next to me, what she had been through, what she could still go through. John, she said, calling me by my name for the first time, are you still sure you want to help me? I looked at her. At that woman who in 3 days had brought life to my house, who had watered Maria's plants, who had made scrambled eggs as if it were the most natural thing in the world. I am, I replied, more sure than ever. Even knowing that he's dangerous? Especially knowing that he's dangerous. Anna smiled, the third smile, the most beautiful so far. Thank you, she said, for everything. You don't need to thank me. I do. You saved me twice, in the creek and here, letting me be myself again. She was right. In the last 3 days, I had seen Anna transform, from the scared girl to the strong woman that was revealing herself. But she didn't know that the opposite was also true. She had also saved me. She had given me a purpose, a reason to wake up beyond the routine, a reason to care if tomorrow would come or not. Anna, I said, tomorrow we're going to town. We'll buy the seeds, some groceries. You wear one of Maria's hats, sunglasses. No one will recognize you. And if they do, then we'll face it together. Together. The word sounded right, as if it had always been like that, as if it would always be like that. For the first time in 3 years, the future didn't scare me. I had Anna to protect, and that changed everything. The town of Harmony Creek woke up early that Thursday. The market was already bustling when we arrived, my pickup truck kicking up red dust on the dirt road that separated the first houses from downtown. Anna was unrecognizable. Maria's straw hat covered almost her entire face. The sunglasses hid her brown eyes, and she had tied her hair in a low bun, different from the loose way she wore it at home. She wore one of the simplest blouses we found in the closet, old jeans that were mine, but that she managed to adjust with a belt. "Nervous?" I asked, parking in front of Mr. Goncalvo's seed store. "A little." She looked around, observing the people passing by. "It's been months since I've been here. Stay close to me. Anything strange, you let me know." We got out of the pickup. The morning sun was already heating up, promising another day of dry heat. The familiar smell of the town enveloped me, a mixture of dust, brewed coffee, diesel fuel from the few cars that circulated. Mr. Goncalvo greeted us with his usual wide smile. He was a small man, round belly, who knew everyone within a radius of 50 miles. "John, long time no see, young man. How's life on the farm?" "Slowly, Mr. Goncalvo. I came to get some seeds." "Seeds?" He looked at me curiously. "Thought you had given up planting after Mrs. Maria." "No," I interrupted, feeling Anna stiffen beside me. "I decided to try again." "Great, great!" Mr. Goncalvo clapped his hands. "And the young lady?" He looked at Anna with respectful curiosity. A cousin?" I lied. "She's helping me with the garden." "Welcome, young lady. Any cousin of John's is a friend of ours." Anna nodded in silence, keeping her head down. We bought sunflower seeds, some tomato seedlings, fertilizer. Mr. Goncalvo packed everything carefully, telling stories about the plants, giving advice that I already knew by heart, but pretended to listen to for the first time. It was when we were leaving that I felt Anna stiffen beside me. "What is it?" I murmured. "That black car," she said, almost without moving her lips. "It wasn't there when we arrived." I looked discreetly. A black Corolla, dark windows parked across the street. 2 figures in the front seat. "Are you sure?" "I am, and I recognize the car. It belongs to one of my father's men." My heart raced. I put my hand on Anna's back, guiding her to the pickup. "Let's go, slowly, without rushing." But it was too late. The Corolla started the engine. The doors opened. 2 men came out, tall, broad-shouldered, the type you know isn't there to talk. "John," Anna whispered, and I heard the fear returning to her voice. "Stay calm." We reached the pickup. I opened the door for Anna, went around to the driver's side. The men were approaching, not running, but with the confidence of someone who knows the prey has nowhere to run. I started the engine. The old Ford coughed, choked, took a while to catch. Come on," I murmured between my teeth. Finally, it caught. I put it in reverse, started to pull out of the parking space. That's when one of the men stood in front of the pickup. He was young, no more than 30 years old, but he had that empty look that you see in people who do violence for a living. He raised his hand, signaled for me to stop. "Sir," he said, approaching the window, "we need to talk. I have nothing to talk about with you." "I think you do." He looked at Anna, who had shrunk in the seat, especially about the passenger. Anna took off her sunglasses. She raised her chin, looked the man in the eyes. "Tell my father that I'm not going back," she said in a firm voice. "Tell him I'm dead to him." The man smiled, a cold, humorless smile. "Your daughter has a temper, Mr. Anthony always said that." He rested his hands on the roof of the pickup. "But temper doesn't change inheritance, does it? The inheritance is mine by right. It was yours. Now you're dead, remember? Drowned 4 days ago. Very sad." I felt the anger rising, hot and dangerous. "Get out of the way," I said. "Or what?" The man looked at me with disdain. "Are you going to run me over, in front of everyone?" He was right. We were in the middle of town with people passing by. I couldn't do anything drastic. "What do you want?" "Simple. The young lady comes with us, takes care of some papers at the registry office, signs some transfers. After that, she can go wherever she wants." "Lies," Anna said. "As soon as I sign, you'll really kill me." "What a distrust," the man laughed. "Your father just wants the family to stay together. The second man approached Anna's window, older, scar on his chin, huge hands. "Better not to complicate things, girl. Your father is being generous. It won't always be like this." It was then that I saw Mr. Goncalo leave the store, curious about the commotion. Other shopkeepers started to look, a small crowd forming. "John?" Mr. Goncalo approached. "Is everything okay?" The two men exchanged glances. They didn't want to draw attention. "Everything's fine, Mr. Goncalo," I replied loudly so that everyone could hear. "Just some lost guys asking for directions." "Ah, yes." Mr. Goncalo smiled. "Where are you going?" The younger man hesitated. He didn't expect to be put against the wall like that. "We're looking for the Ferreira Ranch," he said finally. "Ah, Mr. Anthony's." Mr. Goncalo perked up. "Just follow the old road after the bridge, about 15 miles. You can't miss it." "Thank you," the man said through his teeth. I took advantage of the distraction. I put it in first gear, accelerated. The man had to jump to the side to avoid being hit. "John!" Anna shouted, looking in the rearview mirror. "They're coming after us!" The black Corolla was already on our tail. I saw in the mirror that the driver was talking on the phone, probably reporting what had happened. "Hold on tight," I said, stepping on the accelerator. The old pickup groaned, but obeyed. We left the town in a sprint, kicking up a cloud of red dust. The Corolla was coming behind, faster, more powerful. "They're getting closer," Anna said, her voice tense. "I know. I knew those roads like no one else. I had grown up there, hunted in every forest, fished in every stream. If I could get to the dirt roads, I'd have an advantage." I turned left onto a small road that was almost invisible. The Corolla passed straight, braked, made the turn. We gained a few seconds. The dirt road was a roller coaster of holes and stones. The pickup shook violently, but I knew every curve. The Corolla, lower, had difficulty with the obstacles. "Where are we going?" Anna asked, holding onto the dashboard. "To a place they don't know." It was a trail that led to an isolated part of the mountain range, a place where Maria and I went when we were dating, where she always said she felt closer to God. We arrived at the end of the trail. I stopped the pickup, turned off the engine. Silence, only the sound of the engine cooling down, our panting breaths, the singing of birds in the forest. "Did we lose them?" Anna asked. "For now." I got out of the pickup, looked around. The place was exactly as I remembered it, a small clearing surrounded by tall trees with a breathtaking view of the valley. Anna got out too, took off her hat. Her dark hair fell over her shoulders, and for the first time I saw how truly beautiful she was. Not just pretty, she was beautiful. "Is this where you came with your wife?" she asked. How did she know? "How did you find out?" "By the way you look at this place." She smiled, but it was a sad smile. "It's the same way my mother looked at her garden." We stood there, contemplating the view, trying to process what had happened. "They're going to keep looking," Anna said. "They will. And now that they know you're helping me, they're going to come after you too." She turned to face me. "John, you can still give up. Leave me here. Go away. Pretend you never saw me. And you? What are you going to do?" "I'll manage. I always have." "No." The word came out firmer than I expected. "We're not going to give up. We're not going to run forever." "Then what are we going to do?" I looked at her, at that woman who in a few days had changed my life completely, who had made me feel useful again, who had brought laughter to my house, who had watered Maria's plants as if they were her own. "We're going to fight," I said. "We're going to find a way to end this. How? I don't know yet, but we will find it." Anna looked at me for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Together? Together." But even as I spoke, I knew that things had changed. Anthony Ferreira now knew she was alive. He knew I was protecting her. The war had begun, and I had no idea how we were going to win. We went back home by a different route, through trails that only the oldest locals knew. The sun was already high when we arrived, and the house seemed smaller, more vulnerable, as if the invisible walls that had always protected me had disappeared. Anna had been quiet since we left the mountains. She sat on the porch, looking at the horizon as if she expected to see the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse emerging from the trees. "They'll be back," she said, more to herself than to me. "Probably." "Not probably. Definitely." She looked at me. "My father never gives up. When he wants something, what does he want exactly, besides the inheritance?" Anna sighed as if the question hurt. "Control. It's always been about control." She played with the hem of her shirt. "When I was little, he controlled my friends, my clothes, my grades in school. After my mother died, he started to control my movements, my money, my life. And you never thought about reporting him?" "To whom?" Anna laughed, but there was no humor in the laugh. "Half the cops in the county work for him. The other half are afraid. The sheriff of Harmony Creek went to the ranch on my 18th birthday. They've been friends for 20 years. I felt the weight of the situation settling on me. It wasn't just a violent man. It was an entire system built to protect him. "Anna," I said, sitting down next to her on the porch, "I need to know everything. About the inheritance, about the documents, about everything that can help us." She took a deep breath. "My mother left 3 ranches, investments in banks, and the house in town. Everything is registered in the courthouse, in my name. Her lawyer, Mr. Caldwell, always said it was bulletproof. No one could touch it as long as I lived." "And where is that lawyer now?" "He died last year. Heart attack." She looked at me significantly. "Very convenient. Do you have copies of the documents?" "I did. My father burned everything after Mr. Caldwell's funeral. Said I didn't need to worry about those things. But there must be a copy at the courthouse. There should be. But..." She hesitated. "John, the clerk is my father's cousin." Each revelation was like a wall rising in front of us. I felt the frustration growing, mixed with anger. "There has to be a way," I murmured. "Mr. Caldwell once told me that he had copies stored in a safe deposit box in Albany, in case something happened to him." Anna turned to me. "But that was 2 years ago. I don't know if it still exists. It's worth a try." "John, Albany is over 200 miles from here." "So what? You're talking about leaving everything, traveling to a city you don't know, looking for documents that might not even exist anymore." She shook her head. "For a person you've known for a week." The observation hit me. It was true. A week ago, I didn't even know Anna existed, and now I was willing to cross the state for her. "Anna," I said, "do you know why I saved you that day?" "Because you're a good person." "No. I mean, maybe that's it too. But it's not just that." I looked at my hands, trying to find the right words. "When Maria died, a part of me died too. The part that cared, that dreamed, that believed it was worth fighting for something." Anna listened to me in silence. "In the last 3 years, I just existed. I woke up, took care of the animals, ate, slept, repeating that every day, hoping that one day would be the last. John, then you showed up, and suddenly I had something to protect again, someone who needed me, and that reminded me that I was still alive." We were silent for a moment. "So it's not just for you that I'm going to fight," I continued. "It's for me too, for having a reason to be here." Anna reached out, touched mine. The touch was warm, firm. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For making me feel like I'm worth saving." That's when we heard the noise. Car engine, more than one. Anna stiffened. "They're back." I got up, peeked through the living room curtain. 3 cars were coming up the road that led to the house. The black Corolla from the morning, plus a dark sedan and a white pickup. "How many?" Anna asked. "Too many." My heart raced. I looked around, looking for options. The house was on open ground without many places to hide. The woods were too far away. "What do we do?" Anna asked, and I heard the fear returning to her voice. "You go to the bedroom, hide under the bed. Don't come out no matter what happens." "And you?" "I'm going to talk to them." "John, no, they didn't come to talk." "Maybe they did. Maybe we can still negotiate." "No way." She grabbed my arm. "My father sent them here to get me. If they don't find me, they'll hurt you until you tell them where I am." The cars were arriving. I could see the figures through the windshields. At least 6 men. "Anna, go to the bedroom now." "No." "What do you mean, no?" "I'm not going to hide while they hurt you because of me." She raised her chin, and I saw in that gesture the strong woman she really was. "If they want to take me, I'll go with them, but I'm not going to let them hurt you." "Anna." "No, John. You've done too much. You've risked too much." The cars stopped in front of the house. I heard doors slamming, low voices, footsteps on the dry ground. "Last chance," Anna said. "Let me go with them. Pretend I kidnapped you, that I forced you to help me." "Never." "Why?" "Because—" I stopped, looked into her brown eyes. "Because I love you." The words came out without me thinking, without me planning. But the moment I said them, I knew they were true. Anna looked at me in surprise. "John, I know it's crazy. I know it's only been a week, but it's true." I held her face between my hands. "And I'm not going to let them take you." She had tears in her eyes. "I love you too," she whispered. "That's why I can't let you get hurt because of me." There was a knock on the door. 3 loud, authoritative knocks. "Mr. John," a voice shouted, "open the door, we just want to talk." Anna and I looked at each other. "Together?" she asked. "Together." We went to the door. I took a deep breath, turned the key, opened it. 6 men were on the porch. The oldest, with a grey mustache and a prominent belly, seemed to be the boss. Beside him, the 2 we had met in town. The others were younger but had that same empty look of someone who does violence for a living. "Mr. John," the oldest said, taking off his hat, "I'm Reynaldo, foreman for Mr. Anthony Ferreira. Can we come in?" "Depends on what you want." "We want the girl." He looked at Anna. "Hi, Anna. Your father is worried." "I'm sure," Anna replied sarcastically. "He just wants to talk. Resolve this situation." "The situation is resolved," I said. "Anna stays here." Reynaldo smiled, but it was a cold smile. "Mr. John, you seem to be a good person. Hard-working, honest. We don't want trouble with you." "Then go away." "I can't do that. I received orders. And I'm giving other orders. It's my property." "It is indeed." Reynaldo looked around as if admiring the landscape. "Nice farm. Must be worth good money." The threat was clear. "Anna," I said without taking my eyes off Reynaldo. "Go inside." "No." "Anna." I said no. She took a step forward. "Reynaldo, tell my father that I'm dead to him, like he wanted." "Anna, girl, your father just wants you to come home." "Home?" Anna laughed, but there was no humor in the laugh. "That was never my home. Home is where people love you, respect you, protect you." She looked at me. "Here is my home now." Reynaldo sighed, as if he was losing patience. "Mr. John," he said, "do you have any idea who you're messing with?" "I do. Mr. Anthony has influence throughout the state. He can ruin your life in a week." "Let him try. It doesn't have to be like this. Let the girl come with us, and you go back to your normal life. No problem, no complication." "And if I don't let her?" Reynaldo didn't answer. He just nodded to the other men. That's when everything happened very quickly. 2 men advanced towards Anna. Another 2 came for me. Reynaldo stood still, watching. Anna screamed. I tried to get to her, but one of the men grabbed me. The other punched me in the stomach, leaving me breathless. "Stop!" Anna shouted. "Stop hurting him!" "Then come with us," Reynaldo said calmly. "No," I managed to say, still bent over in pain. "Anna, don't go." The man hit me again, this time in the face. I tasted blood in my mouth. "John!" Anna tried to break free from the men who were holding her. "Please, stop. The choice is yours, girl," Reynaldo said. "Come with us willingly, or we'll take your boyfriend along. I'm sure your father will like to meet who's hiding his daughter." Anna looked at me, and I saw the despair in her eyes. "Okay," she said, stopping to fight. "Okay, I'll go." "Anna, no." "I have to go, John. If I don't, they'll kill you. Wise decision, Reynaldo said. Let's go. They started dragging Anna to the cars. She turned to me one last time. I love you, she said. Anna! I tried to go after them, but the two men held me back. I could only watch as they put her in the back seat of the Corolla, as the doors slammed, as the cars made the turn and went down the road. In a few minutes, only the silence and the red dust remained in the air. Anna was gone, and I was alone again. But this time, the loneliness wasn't just pain, it was fury. I stood on the porch for I don't know how long. The sun went down behind the hills, the night arrived with its mantle of crickets and longing, and I stayed there, immobile. As if moving was admitting that Anna had really gone. The taste of blood in my mouth reminded me of the punch. The pain in my stomach reminded me of my impotence. But worse than everything was the emptiness in my chest, that hole that seemed to grow with each passing minute. That's when I heard the sound of an engine on the road. I got up from the chair, tense. Would they be coming back to get me too? But it was just an old motorcycle, slowly climbing the dirt road. The headlights swayed with the holes, illuminating the trees on the sides. The motorcycle stopped in front of the house. The driver took off his helmet. It was a boy, no more than 15 years old, thin as a dry branch. Mr. John? He asked, getting off the bike. That's me. I have a message for you. He approached, handed me an envelope. Yellowed paper without a letterhead. Who sent it? A girl. She told me to say it was urgent. I took the envelope, tore it open. Inside, a sheet of paper with small, hurried handwriting. John, I'm okay for now. My father wants me to sign some papers tomorrow morning at the courthouse. After that, I'm not going to sign. I'd rather die than hand everything over to him. But I want you to know, these days with you have been the happiest of my life. You taught me what it is to be loved. Thank you for that. If anything happens to me, look for Albany, State Street 47, Mr. Caldwell's office. His secretary, Mrs. Davison, always liked me. She knows about the documents. I love you forever. Anna P.S. I planted the sunflower seeds in the pot in the room before I came to town with you. For Maria and for us. My hand trembled holding the paper. Anna was trapped, refusing to sign, running the risk of death. And I was there, standing, helpless. Boy, I called. The boy was getting on the bike. Can you deliver a response? He hesitated. Depends. Will there be trouble? Not for you. And I went into the house, grabbed paper and pen. I sat at the kitchen table where Anna had made scrambled eggs for the first time, where we had talked about plants and about dead mothers, where we had discovered that we were not alone in the world. Anna, don't sign anything. No matter what he threatens, don't sign. I'm going to get you out of there. I don't know how yet, but I will. Hang in there. You are stronger than you think. I love you. John P.S. I'll water the sunflowers every day until you come back. I folded the paper, handed it to the boy along with $20. Can you deliver it? I can try. After he left, I went into the house. It seemed bigger, emptier. The dishes that Anna had washed were still on the drainer. The blouse she wore was on the clothesline. The book that Maria read and that Anna had picked up to browse was open on the coffee table. I went to the guest room. On the windowsill, there was a small pot with fluffy soil. I came close, saw the small seeds buried carefully, sunflowers that Anna planted before going to town, before everything collapsed. I'll bring her back, I promised the seeds, for Maria and for us. But how? I sat on the bed where Anna had slept, where she had recovered, where we had talked about pain and about hope. I needed a plan. Something that would work against a man who was rich, powerful, protected by hired guns and by the law itself. That's when I remembered. Albany, State Street, 47. If I could get there, get the documents, maybe I could prove that Anna was the true heiress, but that meant leaving her alone for at least 2 days. 2 days in the hands of Anthony Ferreira. I walked around the house, thinking, looking for alternatives. That's when I saw Maria's photo on the shelf. She was smiling with that smile that said that everything was going to be all right, that love always found a way. "What would you do, Maria?" I asked the photo. The answer came clear, as if she were there. I would go get the documents, and then I would come back to save her. It was 4 in the morning when I made the decision. I prepared a backpack with water, food, the money I had saved. I wrote a note to Anna, in case she managed to send another message. I went to get our salvation. "Be back tomorrow night. Hang in there until then. I love you." I put the pickup on the road before sunrise, 200 miles to Albany, 3 hours of travel if everything went right. Albany greeted me with cold and confusion. Big city, very different from the countryside. Traffic, horns, haste. I had to stop 3 times to ask for directions until I found State Street. Number 47, an old building, peeling facade, steep staircase. On the 2nd floor, a small sign, Mr. Joachim Caldwell, attorney at law. The door was closed, but there was light inside. I knocked. "It's closed," a woman's voice replied. "Mrs. Davison, I'm a friend of Anna Christina." Silence. Then footsteps. The door opened a crack. A woman of about 60 years old, gray hair, suspicious eyes. "Which Anna Christina?" "Anna Christina Ferreira, daughter of Anthony Ferreira." The woman studied me for a long moment. I thought she had died. She didn't die, but she's in danger. "I need the inheritance documents." "Who are you?" "John Mendez. I'm taking care of her." Mrs. Davison opened the door wider, looked me up and down. "Come in," she said finally. The office was dusty, piles of files everywhere. It smelled like old paper and reheated coffee. "Mr. Caldwell passed away a year ago," she said, pouring coffee into a small cup. "But he always said that if anything happened to Anna, I should hand over the documents to her. Personally. She can't come. She's trapped." "And trapped how?" I told her everything. The creek, the rescue, the days at home, the love that was born, the men who came to get Anna. Mrs. Davison listened to me in silence, sometimes shaking her head, sometimes sighing. "Mr. Caldwell always said that Anthony was dangerous," she said when I finished. "Said that one day he would try something against Anna." "Do the documents exist?" "They do." She went to a small safe in the corner of the room. Original will, certificates, property records, all in her name. My heart raced. "Can you give them to me?" "I can, but it won't do much good." "Why?" "Because paper is just paper. If she signs a transfer, even if she's coerced, it'll have legal validity. And if she doesn't sign?" Mrs. Davison looked at me with pity. "Anthony Ferreira isn't a man to take no for an answer." I took the documents, put them in my backpack carefully. It was our only chance. "Mrs. Davison," I said, "do you know anyone in the police? Someone honest?" "I do. My nephew works for the FBI, Agent Marcos Pereira." "Would he help?" "If I asked him, he would. But he'd need proof of what Anthony did." "What kind of proof?" "A witness, a recording, something that proved the coercion." An idea began to form in my head. Dangerous, but possible. "Mrs. Davison," I said, "I need you to do me a favor." I went back home at nightfall. The road never seemed so long. At every curve, I expected to find the house burned, destroyed. But it was intact, just empty. I went straight to the guest room. The pot was still there, with 2 small green leaves sprouting from the soil, Anna's sunflowers starting to grow. "You held on," I murmured. "Now let's see if we can hold on too." The plan was simple, but risky. The next day, I would go to Anthony Ferreira's ranch, alone, unarmed, taking the documents as a bargain, and a recorder hidden in my pocket. If I could get Anthony to confess what he had done, admit the coercion, the attempted murder, I would have enough proof for the FBI to act. If I couldn't, I didn't want to think about what would happen if I couldn't. Anthony Ferreira's ranch was exactly as I imagined. Huge gates, guardhouses, armed men, big house in the middle of a well-kept garden, pure ostentation. I stopped at the gatehouse. A guard approached. "What do you want?" "To talk to Mr. Anthony. About Anna Christina." The guard spoke on the radio, received a response. "Leave the car here. Go on foot." I walked along the internal road, my heart pounding. The recorder was on in my shirt pocket. The documents in the backpack. Anthony Ferreira was waiting for me on the porch of the big house. He was a tall, thin man with well-combed grey hair. He wore a white shirt, linen pants, expensive leather boots. He had the air of someone who was used to giving orders. "So you're the man who was hiding my daughter," he said, without getting up from his chair. "I am." "Sit down." He pointed to a chair across the table. "Want coffee?" "I want Anna back." Anthony laughed. "Straight to the point. I like that." He poured coffee into a porcelain cup. "Anna is fine, settled in her room, reconsidering her choices. I want to see her." "Of course you do. But first let's talk you and I." I sat in the chair, keeping my back straight. I needed to look calm, in control. "What do you want?" I asked. "I want you to convince my daughter to be reasonable." "Reasonable how?" "Sign some papers, transfer some properties, family things that she doesn't understand. And if she doesn't want to," Anthony looked at me over the cup, "she will, especially after she knows what can happen to you if she doesn't sign." The threat was clear. I swallowed hard, tried to keep my voice firm. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm being realistic. Anna has always been stubborn. But she loves you, doesn't she? A woman in love will do anything to protect her man, even if it means giving up her mother's inheritance." "Inheritance?" Anthony laughed again. "What inheritance? Anna drowned a week ago. Can't inherit anything." "But she didn't drown." "Officially she did. I saw the body. I even gave a statement." I felt my blood run cold. He had forged Anna's death. Legally, she no longer existed. But if she's alive, who's going to prove it? "You, a farmer lost in the middle of nowhere." Anthony leaned forward. "John, you don't understand who you're dealing with. I have judges, agents, clerks. I can make anyone disappear from the map. Like you did with Mr. Caldwell." The question caught him by surprise. For a second, I saw something different on his face. Caution. Mr. Caldwell had a heart attack. Very sad. Very convenient, too. Careful what you say, John. Accusations without proof can be dangerous. It was time to play all the cards on the table. "What if I have proof?" Anthony narrowed his eyes. "What kind of proof?" I took out the backpack, placed it on the table. Anthony watched, tense. Original will of Anna's mother, property records, certificates, all in her name. Impossible, I burned all the documents. Not all of them. I opened the backpack, showed the papers. Mr. Caldwell was smart. He kept copies in Albany. Anthony got up from the chair, reached out to take the documents. "Can you give me that?" "I can. In exchange for Anna." "Anna can't inherit anything anymore. She's officially dead. But she can come back to life, with the right documents, right witnesses." Anthony walked around the porch thinking. When he turned to me, the cordial air had disappeared. "John, you don't understand. Anna has always been a problem, since she was born. Cost her mother's life in childbirth. Grew up challenging me, questioning everything I did. Is that why you tried to kill her?" "I tried to solve a problem." His voice was colder now. "Anna inherited the best land in the area, land that I work, that I develop, that I turn into money. Why should a spoiled girl get all that?" "Because it was her right." "Right?" Anthony laughed, but there was no humor in the laugh. "John, right is what I say it is. In this area, my word is law. Not anymore." I took the recorder out of my pocket, showed it to him. "This conversation is being recorded, and it's already been sent to the FBI." Anthony's face turned red with anger. "You imbecile. You don't know what you've just done." "I know exactly. I've ruined you." Anthony shouted something. 3 men appeared running, the same ones who had gone to my house. "Get him," Anthony ordered, "and bring Anna, now." The men grabbed me, but I didn't resist. The plan was working. Anthony had confessed everything. The recording was in the hands of the FBI. They dragged me into the house through wide corridors with marble floors. We arrived at a door at the end of the corridor. One of the men opened it. Anna was there, sitting on a bed, still wearing Maria's blouse. When she saw me, her eyes filled with tears. "John, why did you come? I told you not to come. I came to get you." "How romantic," Anthony said, coming in behind us. "Now you two are going to settle this once and for all." "Anna," I said, "don't sign anything, no matter what he does." "Oh, but she will sign." Anthony nodded to one of the men who pulled out a gun. "Because if she doesn't sign, I'll kill you in front of her." Anna got out of bed. "Dad, please, John has nothing to do with this. He has everything to do with it. He's the reason you're challenging me." "That's not true. I was tired of you long before I met John." "Then sign the papers and end this." "No." The word came out firm, determined. Anna looked at me, then at her father. "I'm not going to sign anything. You can kill me, you can kill John, but I'm not going to hand over to you what my mother left me." Anthony pointed the gun at me. "Are you sure?" "I am." That's when we heard the noise. Sirens, cars arriving at high speed. Anthony ran to the window, looked out. "Police," he said, incredulous. "How?" "I sent the recording of our conversation to the FBI before coming here," I explained. "They were just waiting for my signal." More sirens. Voices shouting outside, order of surrender amplified by megaphone. Anthony looked at me with pure hatred. "You ruined everything. No, you ruined yourself." The men dropped their weapons, raised their hands. Outside, we heard movement, doors being broken down. Anna ran to me, hugged me tight. "You did it," she whispered. "You did it." "We did it." The door of the room opened. Federal agents entered, weapons in hand. "Anthony Ferreira," one of them said. "You're under arrest for attempted murder, coercion, forgery, and money laundering." Anthony still tried to argue, threaten, buy, but he had no more power there. He was just an old man being handcuffed like any common criminal. 3 months later, I sat on the porch at home with a cup of coffee, watching Anna water the sunflowers. They had grown tall, strong, their golden faces always turned to the sun. The process against Anthony was moving forward. He was answering for several crimes, and the properties had been returned to Anna. She had sold most of them, kept only a small ranch near ours. Ours. The word still sounded strange, but right. Anna approached, sat on the arm of my chair. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "About how everything changed. For the better. Much better." She smiled, gave me a kiss on the forehead. "Maria would have liked the sunflowers," she said, looking at the flowers. "She would have. And she would have liked you too." "How can you be sure?" "Because Maria always said that God doesn't close a door without opening a window." I held Anna's hand. "You were my window, and you were my salvation." We stayed there, watching the sunset paint the sky orange and red. The sunflowers swayed in the breeze as if dancing to a song that only they could hear. I thought about how it all started. At the creek, in the morning mist. At the moment when I decided to jump into the water. I thought about how I almost let fear paralyze me, how I almost let Anna go, but I didn't, and that made all the difference. "John," Anna said suddenly. "Yes?" "Thank you." "For what?" "For teaching me that love sometimes arrives when we least expect it, and that it's worth fighting for it." "Thank you," I replied, "for teaching me that it's never too late to start over." The sun disappeared behind the hills. The first stars began to appear. And for the first time in a long time, the future seemed full of possibilities. Because sometimes, when life takes everything from us, it's only to teach us what really matters. And what matters is not what we lost, but what we managed to save. What matters is not the silence of pain, but the voice of courage. What matters is that, even in the darkest moments, there is always a morning waiting to be born. And in that morning, Maybe someone is needing us to be saved. Or maybe we need to be saved. In the end, it makes no difference. What makes a difference is reaching out, is jumping into the water, is choosing love instead of fear, is choosing to fight instead of giving up, is choosing to believe that, however dark the night may be, there will always be sunflowers waiting for dawn. Because in the end, we are all seeds waiting for the right season to blossom. And sometimes, all we need is someone who believes that it's worth watering our dreams, even when we ourselves have already given up on them.